Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Amplified server, and we're back over here at the spawn chunks. This place looks amazing. Do you know what we got to do? We got to go into spectator mode on the other account this episode and have a fly around and look at this area because it's absolutely massive. And I thought that removing all of the dirt in this area wasn't going to be too difficult, but now that I've been marking out where the border is and realizing there's lots of areas that aren't quite like this one over here, you can see there's a lot of stone down there, which is fortunate, but it's not the case for all of it. As you can see, I've been extending the wall over here, so we're actually going to have a quick walk along it, and you can see the kind of progress that I've made. Now this wall is 192 blocks away from that one over there, and there is a wall on that side that's been finished all the way across, but where the wall on this side is going to go, I'm not 100% sure, because I've been doing some tests to figure out where the spawn chunks are, and I actually did this in the last episode, but then I realised something was wrong. You see, like I said, 192 blocks from one side to the other, that's correct. And over here where I've done the test, it's not 192, it's something like 224, which doesn't sound quite right, but basically there's 2 extra rows of chunks that seem to be loaded, or at least survive the old item despawn test. That's where, you chuck them down like this, and let's say spawn chunks are over here, normal world is over here, then when you log out, these ones are still going to be loaded, so they despawn. And what I've been finding is that in the area that shouldn't be spawn chunks, they're, apparently they're still loaded because the items disappear. So I need to double check that, and I've been double checking it on this side over here as well. The thing is, we know exactly where the center of the world is, the spawn point. It's sort of marked down there with a glass block, and that is the correct distance over to that side that you would expect. But in that direction it goes by 2 more chunks, which is bizarre, and I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, if we follow this wall over here, we can see exactly where it goes. It goes underneath this whole Doc's killing machine thing over here. You can see there's tons of grass out in this area, and we're going to fall down here, take a little bit of damage, which is fine. And there's lots of grass around here. There's lots of trees as well. There's also piggies, which are unfortunately going to be killed because we need to rid the entire area of all animals and all grass so that we can build a different type of mob farm somewhere else. So let's go this way. I also went and fetched myself an efficiency 4 shovel, so I can now instant mine the grass, which is going to be so much better than using a beacon each time, because you've got to move it around and its range is kind of limited. And yeah, you can see, look, tons of grass over in this area, tons of grass up there as well. And if we walk along this way a little bit and then throw an ender pearl, we can go up to where we had done as much of last episode. Was that just... I think I saw a zombie up there in full leather armor. It looked a little bit peculiar. Yes, it comes all the way over here. This is where we got to last time. So absolutely tons of stuff to be done. And I like doing time lapses. We did one last episode. I wasn't particularly happy with it because of the amount of time that I had to work on this. But this time I've got more time. So we're going to do another time lapse, and I'm going to try and clear as much of this corner over here as I can. We're going to start off with this bit down the bottom. I imagine some of the hills are going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to log on with my camera account, and as I said, we're going to do a time lapse. Now that is what I call a time lapse. That turned out really great, and I absolutely love that music by Byro. Mentioned it before, emailed him, got the rights to sort of use his music. Absolutely fantastic. I love it, and I've been wanting to use that in my videos for ages. And of course, now we are using his music, and there's loads of it, which is really great. But anyway, I've done that time lapse. You can see that bit over there was affected. All of this over here, getting the dirt and the grass removed, and behind that area off in the distance. We're going to go in there in the camera account in a moment and have a look around, and you can kind of see all of the area that I did from a different perspective. I also did a little bit in between as well. I've taken out all of this over here, so we did have a bunch of dirt sort of sweeping around the side. You can actually kind of see where it was, because when it generates the terrain, when it knows it's going to be all stone, it sort of fills up the stone where the dirt or the grass would have been, if that makes sense. So you see these big cutouts from time to time, kind of like you got over there, although from this angle you can't quite see it. But yeah, so you get this sort of impression left behind. So we are making terrific progress. And also, I've seen a few piggies here and there on the grass where I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen them before. I killed a couple of them in the time-lapse, and I think that might be some passive mob spawns. So as we clear out more and more of this area, we should, in theory, start to see a few more animals cropping up. But of course, their spawn rates are going to be pretty low and pretty rare. So anyway, let's hop into the camera account and go have a look at the area over there. So, for those of you that saw Season 2 of Hermitcraft, you know I do like doing a bit of terraforming, or landscaping, whatever you want to call it. And for those of you that haven't seen Season 2, you've got to go back and check it out and see the wastelands. I will hopefully remember to put a link in the description box. If you're interested in seeing that, we mined out a massive desert for as far as you could see. And it took us a long time to do. And I've just been reminded of that whilst working on this area. So all of this over here that you're seeing used to have dirt over the top of it. And now it looks pretty crazy that all of that's gone. I've even left the stone up here floating. There's also a floating block of grass, and we've got to go even higher and do all of it up here. I love that you can see the iron golems dropping down in the distance. They actually drop down quite frequently. There goes another one, and another one. It's always nice to see that off in the distance when you're doing some digging. And you can kind of see some of the staircases that I made to get around, like that one over there. Yeah, so we've done all of that coming all the way down to the bottom here. Apparently, I missed a couple of blocks, so I will need to go back and do that. But that's just one corner of the entire area. So let's speed up and let's fly across all the way to the other side. Bam! You can see that's roughly how far across it is. So that means we've got to go all the way over this hill. This is going to be the tricky stuff. I mean, all the way up here. And the other side should be somewhere around here. Look at that lovely lava flowing down over everything. So yeah, when we did the test before, as I mentioned, we've had some troubles with it. It was over here, where it should actually be back by two chunks. So somewhere over here could potentially be where the border is. And you can see tons and tons of grass to remove over on this side. Let's continue flying around for a moment. Where is the wall over here? It's just directly below me. So we're going to miss out on a lot of that, but this bit right here needs sorting out, and possibly part of this as well. This terrain is just absolutely crazy, and it's going to take us a long time to do it all, but it's one of those projects, you know, not trying to do it all in a day. However, we did just do a big portion of it, which I'm pleased with. That was a good amount of progress for today's episode. So we are now back at the sheep farm, and it shouldn't take us too long to complete this now. I've got the sheep over here, need to gather the dyes and change their colours. And then we're going to put them on the tracks. I am debating at the moment, since I've bred up a lot of these sheep, that perhaps we'll do 2 of each colour, which is something we can try, but it might be too many sheep. If we have too many sheep going around in this circle, they might like nudge into each other and push each other backwards and break the system. But we'll give it a try. The thing that we need to do first of all is suss out where exactly they're taking damage in this room. But I do want to clarify something. I was reading my comments, and some of you seem to misunderstand the reason we have grass at the top here is to help regrow the grass down below a little bit quicker. You see, the more grass there is around a block of grass that the sheep can eat, the quicker it can regrow, and that's based on chance. So by having blocks up here, there's more chance that it will do that. So what I'm going to do now anyway is just go into a test world to do this next bit, rather than here in the actual world. And just set up the same thing again and see if we can figure out if it's like on the corners that they end up taking damage. If so, we can remove that. I've got a feeling though they'll probably take damage like inconsistently, because technically they're going to be in the middle here, and then they're going to go in this direction. They shouldn't actually hit any block. But anyway, going into a test world, hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. Okay, so test number 1 shows us where the sheep are taking damage. Right in time for this minecart to pick you up, but you need a little nudge, don't you? There we go. So as it goes through, you can see... Oh, fascinating. Huh. The one before took damage in a different position, as this would indicate, because that's where it died. So that one is taking damage on this side over here, on the inside lane. The one that I had previously took damage on this little bit, and I was wondering if it would be directional base, but it appears that it can also take damage on that side. I reckon when sheep get picked up by minecarts, there's some sort of offset going on, because you can see it doesn't take damage on that side, yet the other one did. So let's put down a minecart here, let's put a sheep on top, let's give it a nudge. We've sent that one back in the other direction. Okay, so now that one is taking damage. Oh, but then it changed. It got nudged, and now it takes damage on the other side. Fascinating stuff. Well, it appears to be just the inside at the moment, so I think what we should do is a few more tests like this, but also rearrange the tracks over here so our segments going back and forth are in that direction, and see if the same thing happens again. That was really, really odd. And I wish I was recording. You can see that there is a minecart off of the track. That happened when two minecarts collided. And I feel like I might be being stupid here, but isn't that sort of impossible for them to come off the track? As far as I know, that's not a thing. And let's pick up those... Mutton! I was thinking pork chops, and I was like, no, it's not pork, that's pigs. Yeah, so pretty much the same thing going on here. The sheep seems to get randomly like offsetted, and when it goes through here, it can take damage at either end. So this one is taking damage at that end, and it's also linked to where they take damage on this side. So where they take damage in the far region on there, they'll take damage on this region. So one that decides it's going to take damage over here will take it at the bottom on this side. But the most important thing is the entire time that we've been doing this, I have not seen them take damage anywhere else inside the farm. And I hope it's going to be the same thing on the server, because all we'd then have to do is remove the blocks like I've done there, and a sheep going through shouldn't take damage at any single point now. So the efficiency... Oh. Well, that was something that I theorised, and it turned out to be incorrect. That one I guess makes sense. But that's just a little bit bizarre now. There's not even a block there. Maybe it goes as far back as that one as well. Okay, so we would need to remove... Oh, I didn't get to it quick enough, did I? All of those. That one died. So 2 blocks going back in each direction now. That seems a little bit ridiculous, doesn't it? Let's put in a sheep, and this minecart can pick it up. And I suspected that it would stop. Right, so with 2 blocks off, now it's... No! I'm assuming too much. This is some bizarre behaviour that we have discovered here. I'm wondering now, what if it's not actually taking damage off of these blocks, but as it goes to turn, it's hitting into these ones? That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? I feel like I've assumed that what we're seeing is quite obvious. It looks like maybe it's not. So I'll do some more testing and see if I can suss this out. This sheep right here, how did he get off the tracks? A couple of minecarts collided into it and he got pushed off. It's so bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen that happen, and that's not how it's supposed to work, but whatever. This right here is a sort of map of the blocks that cannot be solid blocks, the glass ones right there. At the moment, this guy is only sort of taking damage on one side because of the direction that he's travelling in. It actually seems to be linked. If I were to change its direction so it was going around the other way, it would then take damage on the other side. It's bizarre stuff. But the blocks that are in glass are the ones that when it goes around this corner, if any of these are solid, it will then take damage, which is just bizarre really, because it's on either side of the track and away from the corner it's turning around as well. No real idea as to why it works like that, but I have noticed if you just sort of watch the minecart and the sheep go around this track from directly above like so, you can see that the sheep sort of glides a little bit across as it goes round the corner. Rather than sort of going like straight down the middle of the tracks and curving like this, it tends to sort of glide a little bit through, and that's just like a subtle thing that I've noticed, and it's just a quirk of how these work. By the way, we're in the world where we did some testing for this before in a live stream, which is why we've got loads of these chaps watching us do some experimenting on them. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do is copy this pattern right here onto Hermitcraft and then give it a quick test. If there's any more damage issues, then I'm just going to remove this top layer completely. But it was fun to investigate, and we found some weird behavioural stuff here, which isn't surprising. But what's really odd is the minecarts getting pushed off the track. I really wish I'd have caught that on camera, but there you go, you're not always recording. So it's been fully tested, our sheep are not taking damage, and I think we're only going to go with 16. I think it's going to be too big to have 32. Now I love seeing this thing in action. Here they come, let's get out of the way. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, that one's eating grass, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and that's sort of worrying because there should be 16. Maybe I actually miscounted. 3, 6, 9, 12, I'm starting to feel sleepy, 15. Right, I think I put one less in over here, or we would have one left behind or a minecart if something happened to one of them. Okay, so I messed up, I got one more of these to put into the system. That's absolutely fine. And quickly, let's sprint through here, and here's another bit that I love. So let's follow them back in. We're actually going to miss it because the switch is over here. There we go, bam. Run all the way down here and watch them go back into the system. I am a fool. I am an absolute fool. I forgot to reconnect this. Oh no, I've left in the the minecart track from where I've been taking them from over here. How silly of me. That shouldn't actually be too difficult to fix. As you can see, I removed some of the blocks around here so they wouldn't take damage. And here's another thing I wanted to mention. Look how much they bob up and down before they fall down. They never take damage though, and it kind of looks like they should do, so I'm very happy that they don't. A couple of them got hurt when I was doing the testing a moment ago, but we should be good now. So, how did you... Oh, you went back and then you went through. Oh, very clever. Oh, and you got nudged off the tracks. What? So you saw it happen right in front of us there. I think I must be going mad because I've never seen minecarts on a track get nudged off by other minecarts before, and today it's happening in single player and on the server, which is now in 1.8.9, so maybe that's it. Anyway, I put the glass in here like we did in the test world. Anyway, I've also got to tidy this up, and we're going to dye all of the sheep as well. Oh, silly stuff. So this has gotten a little bit tricky. I've got to right click on the white ones. Bam, there you go. One for you, one for you, and one for you. And I think I've got like one more piece of dye. There we go. So just got to do that on the last one. Of course, we want to keep one of these as a white one. And now we are all ready to do a test. So I'm going to go grab some shears. Bam, there we go. They have all been successfully dyed. Yes, going to grab some shears and then we can start using this thing. So what I'm going to do is just sort of stand here AFK, look forward, hold down right click. The wall is going to land on the hoppers which are covered up with carpets. And we're going to get ourselves loads of wool when we AFK here, which is going to be awesome. I also just happen to have 2 pieces of iron. I didn't really need to go anywhere, did I? Alright. Oh, no, 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 no. I did not want to do that, but it should hopefully correct itself. Ah, well, they were all nicely paced out apart from one another there, weren't they? Okay, they're getting sheared over to the left. That was kind of bizarre. Maybe we should stand here and hold right click. They still seem to be getting sheared over there. They're getting sheared away from where I'm actually shearing. That is kind of odd. It looks like we're going to need a lot more hoppers in order for this to work. Or maybe some glass blocks in the middle of here to sort of contain them a little bit. And 1 or 2 have now gone past. Yeah, they're getting like sheared back over here. That's so bizarre. But some of it is getting picked up by the hoppers. Bam. That really did look like there were 2 sheep in the minecart. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reset the system quickly. So we're going to hit that, and they're all going to get sent in. I have actually corrected the track up the top there, so we should see they will go in just fine. Yep, that looks good. Okay, and you decided to go in that direction. So this farm is going to be a little bit of a pain, because whenever something goes slightly wrong, some of the sheep get pushed back, and then it all becomes kind of uneven like it is at the moment. Right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you where the issue is. We're going to hit the switch. They're going to get sent up into the system up the top now. And the same problem might not happen again because they're not all going in at the same time. They are all grouped up together. I think that's the last of them. Let's follow it around and see it in action again. This thing is so cool. Yeah, and look, there's the problem. Do you see the minecarts on top of the hoppers there? Well, I've got a feeling... Ah, look at that. So one is over there. That explains a lot. And I've got a feeling that some of them might end up going into the cactus itself if this is full and unable to pick up any more. So if we count how many are now in here, we've actually lost a few minecarts. We've got 11 in total, because a moment ago they're all going around in a circle, and then I was thinking, hang on a minute, that doesn't feel like the right amount. So I counted them and there was only 14. So what did I say? 11? That means we need another 5. Yes, 5 for 16. I dropped the iron. There we go. Okay, so if we chuck all of this into here, we should now see that that's full. So that's 14 and that's 16. Don't worry about that one despawning over there. Now watch what happens when I turn this thing on. We've got just enough space for 16 to go around. So they're going to go around in a circle. We're going to count them. It's slightly dizzying. I don't know why, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Counting with a sumo. 7, 8. We missed that one. I've actually lost track. And we've lost a sheep as well. Where did that sheep go? I don't know. And I completely lost track. But when that one came back through again, did you see there was a yellow one there? That's because it's eaten the grass on its way around. Yeah, and we are picking up some of the wool in the hoppers here. All right, so I'm trying to hop between them as to not cause an issue. I think the best thing to do is to send them back. However, what I really want to do is head back there and see what's gone wrong. So you can see, look, they're eating the grass on the tracks. That's brilliant. So why did we have an empty one? I think one of them has actually died somewhere. And I don't know how or where, and we probably won't know until they've all regrown their wool, so we can see that one's missing. I reckon this is going to be just, we're going to forever find something slightly wrong and be trying to fix things. But anyway, you can see that there's no issue at the moment, because with 16 or possibly 15 on the tracks, they all just continuously go around in a circle, which means as soon as we hit the switch, they go back down here, and we shouldn't have any of that back and forth issues like before. So we've discovered a couple of potential problems. I've now made it worse because I've nudged them around, and we've possibly lost a sheep somewhere as well. Okay, I think we need to call it a day for this sheep farm today. And I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking we need to point this hopper into that one there. If we point it into the one in front of it, it's going to try and pass through items, which means this one's more likely to be filled up when it needs to pick up the ones from the cactus. So we're going to have it like that, and that should help a little bit. But what I'm thinking we'll probably need is some sort of minecart hopper, like hidden inside of this. Well, not hidden, but you know what I mean, inside that hopper, so it has a larger capacity. And I think a minecart hopper inside of this one might be able to give the items to the hopper, or it might take them away from the hopper and keep it for itself. So that'll involve some testing, and that's why we're going to wrap things up on the sheep farm for now, because it's going to be one of those projects where we don't try and do it all in one go. As you can see, we constantly run into issues, but the concept is fantastic, I think. And I just need to put a couple more minecarts in here. There we go. So we'll do more testing with that. And this is why I bred up loads of sheep, because one of them died. We've got some in reserve. Now we're going to move on to the cactus farm. And I'm not going to be doing too much here. All we've got to do is build that distribution system that I talked about. So I haven't been in the base too much. I've been working on the sheep farm today. Not expecting to see a lot. Was hoping more than one chest would have been filled up. But still this one right here hasn't. So I guess I've got some AFKing to do probably in this area. Once this thing fills up all the way, we're then going to take items out of it and send them up top. So right now that's what we're going to start work on, some sort of minecart delivery system. Okay, so down the bottom here is where we're going to take the cactus, and we're going to be using the same technique or method or redstone, whatever you want to call it, that we've been using over and over again here in the base. So this is going to fill up with cactus. That's going to have a minecart hopper in front of it, which I can actually put in place right now. Why not? And the detector here will detect the contents of that minecart chest. So let's just actually check that by grabbing some cactus and chucking it inside. And we'll use the hopper to do that as well. And of course that wouldn't turn on because it's in subtract mode. Anyway, there's a minecart hopper in there, so once that has enough items in, it means that one gets to go. And we're using this little design that we've done before to send the items up, and we're going up to around... So it's just a lot easier if I show you this in spectator mode. This is the little elevator right here. It's going to bring the minecart up to this height. This is Y57, which will meet up with something else over on the other side of our base. Now all of this looks really confusing from back here. That's obviously the top of the cactus farm. We We can even see a little bit of the sheep farm. That's really cool. And then you've got the potion brewing area. So obviously the middle of the base is over there. Now I decided the place that I wanted to put this, or these items, would be all the way on the opposite side, somewhere over here. In fact, probably next to our witch farm drops. We'll store the cactus in those chests, which means that we've got to go around the middle here. So if we head all the way back over, there it is. We come up to this site. We're going to go over towards the beacons, and we're going to make a right hand turn here, and we're going to come down alongside this track, which will make it nice and easy to suss out where we are. And then somewhere around here I'll probably go up, turn to the right over the top of this thing. It's going to be such a squeeze. And then we'll come up into this space, and somewhere here we'll need to figure out a way to do this, because we need another unloading station like this. However, we don't need the item filtering system, but it's all too close to this right here. So I'm not sure where exactly this is going to fit in, or how we're going to do it. Or maybe we'll even go further across and just put it back here. But somehow in that area is where we're going to hook it up to. Okay, in theory we are done, finished, finito. It feels like I must have missed something, because this didn't take too long to set up. This is the same system that we used on the opposite side. I'm not going to explain it because it's pretty common and standard. Let's check on the pick. I've just noticed that we've gone under the red bar there, so I've got to keep my eye on that. I tell you what, I didn't mention it, but while I was working on the spawn chunks, 2 times my shovel broke all the way, disappeared, and I clicked on the empty space and it reappeared, which is a thing that can happen with unbreaking. How lucky is that? 2 times in a row. Anyway, the path now connects in the way that I described, so over there it goes across, and I think we can see a little bit of it if we just drop down here. Yep, there you go, you can see it goes alongside that other rail. And then around the corner there is where we built the elevator. So we'll give it a quick test. It should be fine. But what I want to do next is actually just tidy up this back area. One of the things I wanted to do is make sure all of this looked nice. And I don't know what to do for the roof up here. And there's a bit that needs fixing. But what I wanted to do with the walls is keep them all with this trim of oak wood and stone. And I really like that look because it's so basic Minecraft. It kind of takes you back a little bit. You know, grass, your oak planks and your stone. And yeah, I just want to tidy up this little bit here. Also on this side as well, you can see all of this bit's sort of been missed out, and then it starts over here. So we'll fill in this space, we'll tidy up all of this back area, and then we'll be able to wrap things up. Okay, that is a lot tidier. All of this bit has been done. You can see around here as well. Just tidied everything up and through here. And then over in this bit, wasn't too sure what to do about the ceiling yet. We could sort of fill it in and put some torches up top. That would probably be the smartest thing to do, but for now I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, so to wrap this video up, I do just want to mention a couple of things that are going on around the channel. Feels like I always forget to talk about it. These things have been out for a while now, I guess you could say. Infinifactory has started here on the main channel. Loads of you have been asking about that for a long time, so if you missed any of the videos, I'll put a link to the first one in the description box and on the screen as well. And also I put a link to a series that has started on my second channel, which is a game called Hammerwatch, doing a 4-player co-op with Mary, Cube Hamster and Autumn. And the reason I decided to upload that to my second channel is because it's much more casual. There's no editing. It's a straight record and upload. And basically it was a game that I really wanted to play to the end with the guys. And I thought, you know, I might as well just record that as well and then share that on the second channel. So the second channel is normally for live streams and then occasionally additional content like UHCs. And now Hammerwatch is on there as well. So if you're interested in that, a good reason to subscribe to the second channel. Not sure what Mumbo's up to right there, but that's going to be it from me at this episode of Hermitcraft. As always, if you enjoyed it, leave a like down below, and thank you as always for your support. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and you know what I'm going to do. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.